Hello and welcome to Breaking Bread with Rivaaj Maharaj, where nothing is off the table. For today's episode, I wanted to talk on Trump's Greenland threat and the fact that it has never gone away. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Danish Prime Minister, speaking in Munich at the Security Conference, has highlighted the fact that Donald Trump's threat over Greenland has not abated and that the issue still needs to be discussed further as the threat has not gone away. So this is clearly indicating that she is concerned. As I mentioned in previous podcasts, Donald Trump will have Greenland one way or another, and that the threat is still imminent. The fact that things are escalating over Iran, the fact that you have all these Epstein file leaks and all these other ancillary issues cropping up all over the world does not mean that Greenland is off the table. Greenland is very much front and center, not only because of the strategic purposes that the United States seem to indicate that it holds for the United States and for safety and security in its region, as a result of the United States now embracing the Monroe Doctrine and pivoting back to its own backyard. But also, Trump getting Greenland is a legacy win for him. It's something three or four previous administrations attempted, but never got. It's much like Cuba. If you look at Cuba, I think that action in Cuba is an inevitability. And once again, it's playing into the hubris of the Trump megalomania, of his mindset, his narcissism, because this is going to cement his legacy in the history books for years to come. So the Greenland threat has not abated an inch. It's just been simmering on the back burner. I've got an article here from The Independent that I'm just going to briefly go through and give you my take on it. So the article is entitled, Trump's desire for Greenland still very much serious, says Danish PM, Munich conference latest. Mette Frederiksen also warned that she believes Vladimir Putin is not interested in peace in Ukraine. So, whilst the Munich conference is hailed as a security conference, it looks like it's the one place where everybody's coming to dump all their issues on the table and incite propaganda within the populace of Europe to get behind their objectives. So with the UK, with the European elites, it's, to rally against Russia. They've got the thorn in their side, a previous ally, the United States, that seems to keep moving the goalposts. And they're trying to navigate that, downplaying a lot of it, downplaying the US exiting from NATO, and keeping firmly in the eye of the populace the Russian threat. Whether it's true or whether it's false is immaterial. This is what they want. They want to go to war with Russia, and I think they'll have it one way or another. However, I think the outcome of a war with Russia will really surprise them all. Nevertheless, let's look at this article. Donald Trump's desire for Greenland remains exactly the same, the Danish Prime Minister has told the Munich Security Conference. Mette Frederiksen said she believes the US President remains very serious about acquiring the Danish territory, and also said she believes Vladimir Putin is not interested in peace in Ukraine. So they're just lumping everything together. Earlier at the conference, Britain blamed the Kremlin for killing opposition leader Alexei Navalny, which it said was likely done using poison developed from a dart frog toxin. Again, do you see how all of their narratives are piling in and coming together to form this crescendo, which is going to culminate in the populace of Europe getting behind their governments on this holy war against the Russians? 2 years on from the death of Mr. Navalny, the UK and its allies have pinned the blame on the Russian state following analysis of material samples found on his body, saying it was likely conducted using a poison developed from a dart frog toxin. The entire article heading is about the threat that Greenland faces. That's to allow her, Mette Frederiksen, her 2 minutes of fame, to still make sure that the Greenland issue is kept in the limelight. Because if you remember my video on Greenland, the Greenland debacle, her body language, her posturing, it all looked like she'd been read the riot act, told to get on with it and fall in line, or things would be very difficult for her. So being a good stooge that she is, she had to bite her teeth, throw her people under the bus, and acquiesce to the demands being put forward. So once again, that little bit of a fighter in her keeps coming up with this Greenland issue. But the bulk of the article is on Navalny's death and how the Russians are bad. So she's saying that the Americans are a threat, but the Russians are there as well, and they the bigger threat. And I guess that would annoy a lot of people at the conference, because while they want everything focused laser on the Russians, this would be a distraction. Once again, I think war with Russia is insane. I think we should all just get together, sit down and iron out our differences. Forget about all the posturing that we've been making, because I think now is a time more pertinent than any other that Europe needs to band together rather than still be fighting amongst itself and embracing and enforcing its will against the United States and other enemies that could come from abroad. So I think that in the long term, the Russians would be a good ally for us, but we continue to perpetuate this madness that they're evil. And I don't know. I think that of everybody that has been through the Kremlin, I think Vladimir Putin is the one person that we could be able to sit down with, because he has warm feelings for Europe. I think what comes after him is similar to what came before him, the likes of Stalin, who are just anti-Western Europe, and they will make those feelings felt. And I think that war that our governments are wishing for and pushing us for will definitely come should Putin be out of office, because whatever comes in after him is definitely going to bring that war to us. The posturing, the hatred that we've spewed out towards them, the venom, it's going to come back. It's going to come back in some form, and it's not a form that we're going to be happy with. That's why I suspect we're rearming and we're pushing for this 2035 initiative, because we know that what is going to come out of Russia, Putin's not going to live forever, but what is going to come out of Russia is not going to be forgiving. Thank you for taking the time to spend with us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, as it helps us with the algorithm and it helps our channel to grow.